Army denies fourth request of Congress concerning Bell win. Senator Chris Murphy said. QA expert Daryl Guberman explains why. Business owners, my fellow citizens, the rest of the data will be down below this video. I'm going to tell you this. In 2015, an American handed off the international accreditation form that is a place where the accreditation bodies, both foreign and domestic, are members, to a communist Chinese national, Zhao Jinwu, who is also the chief executive of the China National Accreditation Services in Beijing, China, and they were the ones that are standing in the lab in 2017 holding a certificate for laboratory certification for ISO 17025. Zhao Jinwu's been involved with our quality since 1994. We have the special guest here, Christopher Murphy. It's going to be a very, hopefully, short video, very few placards. You'll find most of the data, everything down below. If you don't, please contact me, 203-556-1493, or Daryl, D-A-R-Y-L, TQRS at yahoo.com. And the reason why we do this is because you should know this, that I am predicting right now before April comes that Lockheed Sikorsky / Boeing will ultimately win over Bell Helicopter. You've had a comment in an article that Textron put into their SEC filing that they really should put a cautionary mark up for possible shareholders or people who want to buy shares, that there may be a contract reversal, meaning that Bell's helicopters, Valor, the V-280, may lose to Lockheed Sikorsky Boeing Defiant SB-1. There's a problem there. It sounds like insider trading to me, but who knows? I know you get the lawyers there and they be conferring. One would say yes, another would say no. And the American Bar Association is involved with the American National Standards Institute. The American National Standards Institute is an organization that's been around for over 104 years. And they have two branches, one in New York and the other in Washington. And they have both federal agencies and corporations on board. Some of those federal agencies are getting compensation from ANSI. At the time that I exposed it, they were getting royalty payments. Now it's called various. But at the time, royalty payments was basically non-taxable. It's not registered by the IRS in any way, shape, or form. So anyway, we have Mr. Christopher Murphy here. Christopher Murphy, who along with his other contingencies, Rosa DeLauro, Jim Himes, and also Richard Blumenthal, all praised Lockheed Martin in 2015 for working with an international regulator, Communist China. Sitting on the disbursements lists of Lockheed Martin, and Lockheed Martin handles all 50 states, giving monies, it's not big, $1,000, $5,000, $11,000, $15,000, to the politicians, both Democrats and Republicans, on these disbursements. So, of course, in Connecticut, they're going to be fighting. And, my heart really goes out to the workers on the floor, not the management. The CEOs of Lockheed Sikorsky, the president of Sikorsky as well, the CEOs of Boeing and also Bell and Bell Textron, they all will make out whether they win or they lose. CEOs are not like what it used to be. When I took my business management courses, they said that in order for a CEO to get a bonus, you have to do a profit. Well, nowadays it appears that if they do a downsize, they call it cost-cutting initiatives, and they get bonuses no matter what. Fail, they get a bonus. Fail, they get a golden parachute. And the people on the floor suffer. And remember this. You can love your house and cat and dog and girlfriend and wife and children, but no matter how much you love your company, it will never, ever love you back. So we're going to continue on. Yes, Richard Blumenthal, Christopher Murphy, Rosa DeLauro, and Jim Himes all praised Lockheed Martin for working with Communist China. In 2009, Lockheed Martin got hacked by China, taking the F-35 fighter. In 2013, Lockheed formed an alliance with Bell Helicopter, and they started to design and develop the V-280 Valor, the one that Bell won over Lockheed, Sikorsky, and Boeing. They parted ways, and then in 2015, Lockheed Martin purchased Sikorsky Aircraft. But let's go back. 2009, they couldn't handle cybersecurity. They got it taken away. Lockheed Martin gotten their documents taken away for the F-35 fighter. In 2013, they were working with Bell on the V-280 Valor, and they parted ways. In 2012, Sikorsky Aircraft, a division of United Technologies, got hacked by China taking the Black Hawk helicopter. It's a real mess, business owners, a real mess indeed. And let me bring out, I'm going to bring out Christopher Murphy and show this to you. I'm going to try to show it to you very well. So you have Lockheed Martin, the F-35, and you have the Chinese variant, the J-31. You have the Black Hawk from UTC, or now it's Lockheed Sikorsky, and the Black Hawk over here, the Z-20, is the version of the Black Hawk the Chinese have. They look the same, perfectly the same. So in 2015, Lockheed Martin wants to purchase Sikorsky Aircraft. Of course, they're going to. And they get all the congressmen, senators' blessings. And in this article, which was in the Connecticut Mirror, this is what it says. Let me just turn around so that you can read in the yellow highlight, and I'll read the top. With China's okay, Lockheed Martin to close on Sikorsky purchase. But Connecticut lawmakers praise Lockheed Martin for clearing its last regulatory hurdle. All right? And I'm just going to say this, my fellow citizens, business owners. They're rattling their sabers, our contingencies here in Connecticut. Poor Bell, from what I read in these articles, they submitted to the SEC that they would put up a cautionary flag to anybody who wants to invest in their stock, that there may be a contract reversal where Lockheed, Sikorsky, and Boeing are going to win the contract. Ultimately so, because if I remember correctly, in 2005, Lockheed Martin won over the VH-1 presidential aircraft from Sikorsky. The Connecticut contingency fought, and Lockheed backed off, and it went back to Sikorsky, which was at that time a division of United Technologies. The reason why is, they have actuaries looking into the future, the performance levels of your company. Well, they probably already figured that 5 years or 10 years later, they were going to go purchase a Sikorsky aircraft. So they left it at that. So this is about Army denies fourth request of Congress concerning Bell win. Senator Chris Murphy said, QA expert Daryl Guberman explains. The problem here is that you have the force, you have the senators in Congress, people in Connecticut, all praising Lockheed for working with communist China. I bet you the little tiny lapel pin that they wear that says, that has the American flag in it, I bet you turn that over, it says made in China. I wouldn't put it past them. But it is absolutely disgusting and deplorable that, Bell is out there waving in the wind. The CEO, it appears, Mr. Donnelly, is too weak to stand up against a monster like Lockheed, Sikorsky / Boeing. They've been, and not only that, the final thing is this. Team Lockheed, Sikorsky, and Boeing. Lockheed, there was an article, I did a video on it. And within the context of that article, it said, after 800 aircraft, Lockheed is still producing DREC. You know what that means, crap? They're still producing aircraft that are infested with quality control issues. You have Boeing, too. You have now Boeing that was caught fudging documentation, okay? Boeing caught fudging documentation with their metal supplier, Kobe Steel, who also was fudging documentation. And let me say this, business owners. It may not have been bad, we'll never know, but I'm sure they could not take a lot of the metals that they fudged out of that aircraft. And that is a serious quality issue. And there were no other reports that came out other than the fact that Boeing got caught fudging documentation. So you have the Lockheed, Sikorsky, Boeing team all doing quality crap, while you have the Bell team. Now, I've looked into their quality. Their quality appears to be as good as possible. Making an aircraft is no easy task, but after 800 aircraft, they got to get rid of some of the quality control issues. Wouldn't you say so? After 800? I thought 3 was the charm. I guess it's 801 maybe. But you have this. I'm going to leave it here, business owners, my fellow citizens. But the Army denies it too, because it's very simple why the Army denies their request. Because they probably know that the senators are all in bed with China. Absolutely, they're all in bed in Connecticut, because they praise Lockheed Martin for working with an international regulator. On top of that, let me just show you this, if I may. Okay. On top of that, business owners, I will show you this so that I can be a man of my word, because many of you are saying, this guy, is he telling the truth? How do we know that? It's very easy to know that, business owners, my fellow citizens. Here is some of the articles about Lockheed fudging documentation. Okay? You can stop the video and watch it. Another thing is this. I always get questioned, Daryl, how do you know that they were hacked? Maybe the newspaper was incorrect. Well, here is the actual aircraft, okay? You have the F-35 that was made by Lockheed, and you have the Chinese counterpart, the J-31. You have the Black Hawk here, UH-60, and you also have the Z-20. It looks identical. And that is what happened when Lockheed Martin was working in 2013 with Bell Helicopter. They formed a collaboration to build the Valor, the V-280 Valor. And what happened? Lockheed couldn't keep their pants down long enough before China stole the F-35. They tried to pull them up, and between the time of 2009 and 2013, their pants were still down. And my feeling is that Lockheed Martin got hacked, and China took the V-280 Valor because their cybersecurity is not good. And it's horrible, as a matter of fact. And in an exposition, a military exposition in China, you'll probably find the article down below in one of my other informational packets that are in the description. China exhibition showed the V-280 Valor that was made by Bell under a different designation, just like the Black Hawk and F-35 are, as I showed you in those pictures, and also the Defiant SB-1 on display in China. What are we building these aircraft for? It's a shame. The technology has already been taken. And by the way, I think it was the Sikorsky S-69 is the actual model for the Defiant SB-1. Look that up, Sikorsky SB. In fact, I'm going to look it up and verify it. The Sikorsky S-69 is the aircraft you should look at. It looks very much the same technology as something that was built in 1973. An old model. Talk to you soon. Thank you. 203-556-1493 or Daryl, TQRS at yahoo.com. Again, this is Army denies fourth request of Congress concerning Bell when Senator Chris Murphy said said that QA expert Daryl Guberman tells you the truth, the real reason. And remember, when speaking the truth, it's many times like administering medication to the dead, and dear God, business owners, my fellow citizens here in Connecticut and throughout the United States, this is a shit show. By the way, that is a quality term. I'll talk to you soon.